The drums are beating, the goals are flying, the greatest show on earth is in full swing. And if you thought the FIFA World Cup 2026 couldn't get any bigger, think again. Because today, the story isn't just on the pitch, it's at the very top of world football. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your complete World Cup show. I'm your host, and for the next 20 minutes, we are taking you through every goal, every stat, every dramatic twist, and the bombshell announcement that has the entire football world talking. Strap in. This is the FIFA World Cup 2026, and we start with news that will define how this tournament is remembered forever. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has confirmed, officially and publicly, that United States President Donald Trump will be on the stage at the World Cup final to co-present the trophy to the winners of this tournament. The final takes place on July 19th at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and in a break from FIFA protocol that goes back years, Infantino will stand alongside Trump as the golden trophy is handed to the winning captain. Infantino made it crystal clear. His words, "We will be together with the president, enjoying the final and handing the trophy to the winner, of course, together." And when pressed to confirm it would be a joint presentation, he simply said, "Of course, we are together all the time." Now, this is not completely without precedent in football history. Queen Elizabeth II handed the World Cup to England captain Bobby Moore in 1966. King Juan Carlos of Spain presented it to Italy's Dino Zoff in 1982. Heads of state and the World Cup trophy have shared the same stage before, but in the modern era of FIFA, this is a significant shift. Infantino himself presented the trophy at Russia 2018 and Qatar 2022 alone. This time, he is sharing that moment with the President of the United States on American soil at a tournament the United States co-hosted and built. And there's a backstory here. Last summer, Trump participated in the Club World Cup trophy presentation at the same MetLife Stadium when Chelsea beat Paris Saint-Germain in the final. He handed the trophy to Chelsea captain Reece James, and then he stayed on the stage, right through the celebrations. He didn't leave. Players and fans looked on, somewhat bewildered, as the President of the United States stood among the Chelsea squad lifting the trophy. He later said simply he wanted to stay. The World Cup final on July 19th will be a considerably more momentous affair, and now the whole world knows whoever wins this tournament, whoever lifts that trophy, they will do it with Donald Trump and Gianni Infantino standing right there beside them. It adds yet another layer of theater and spectacle to a tournament already dripping with drama. The question now, whose hands will be reaching for that trophy? Let's find out what's happening on the pitch, because the group stage is telling us everything. Portugal, 5 goals, Uzbekistan, 0, and it wasn't even close to being that competitive. This was a statement performance. This was a team sending a message to every other nation in this tournament. We are coming, and you had better be ready. Portugal tore into Uzbekistan with ferocious intent from the very first whistle, and by the time 6 minutes were on the clock, they were already ahead, 1-0. Then in the 17th minute, 2-0. Just over a quarter of an hour gone, and Uzbekistan were already staring into the abyss. By the 39th minute, before the halftime whistle had even sounded, 3-0. Portugal walked off the pitch at the break 3 goals to the good, and the game was buried. The second half was simply about adding gloss. The 4th goal arrived at the hour mark, 60 minutes gone, clinical, composed. And then in the 87th minute, deep into the game, Portugal added a 5th, 5-0. Full time, done. Look at these stats and try to tell me this wasn't dominance in its purest form. Portugal had 66% possession. They registered 16 total shots. 9 of those were on target. Uzbekistan, the entire match, managed just 7 shots in total, only 2 of which troubled the goalkeeper. Portugal's shot stopper, Diogo Costa, made just 2 saves and was almost a spectator. The lineup that Portugal fielded was frightening in its quality. Cristiano Ronaldo leading the line, Bruno Fernandes in midfield dictating, João Felix and Pedro Neto providing the creativity on either side, Ruben Dias and João Cancelo anchoring the defensive structure, Vitinha and João Neves controlling the tempo. This is a team that knows exactly how to play and exactly how to win. In Group K, Portugal now sit on 4 points, But above them, Colombia with a perfect 6 from 6. The group finale will be fascinating, but one thing is beyond doubt. If Portugal keep producing performances like this, they are going to be extremely difficult to stop in the knockout rounds. 5 goals in one game at a World Cup. That is a statement. That is a warning, and every team left in this tournament should be paying attention. From one European giant dominating to another, France. 3 goals, Iraq, none. And frankly, it could have been more. Les Bleus were clinical, composed, and utterly in control from the 14th minute onwards, when the first goal went in and set the tone for everything that followed. France struck early, took complete control of the match, and never once looked like relinquishing it. The second goal arrived just after the break, 54th minute, before a third in the 66th made it a thoroughly comfortable evening for the French squad. The statistics paint a picture of total domination. France had 56% of the ball, 19 total shots, and 5 on target. Iraq registered 0 shots on target in the entire 90 minutes, not one. France's goalkeeper, Mike Maignan, was not called upon to make a single meaningful save. Kylian Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Bradley Barcola, and Michael Olise, that is an attacking line of genuine world-class quality, and Iraq simply had no answer for it. What is particularly impressive about this France performance is the discipline. Not a single yellow card, just 8 fouls committed. France were incisive without being reckless, dominant without being arrogant. This is a squad that is peaking at exactly the right time. In Group I, France sit top with 6 points from 6, 2 wins, 2 games, 0 goals conceded. Norway are also on 6 points in the same group, after their own dramatic result. This group is heading toward a fascinating climax. France are one of the tournament favorites, and performances like this only justify that status further. Now this was a football match. If Portugal and France gave us clinical excellence, Norway versus Senegal gave us raw, pulsating, end-to-end drama that had everyone on the edge of their seats. 5 goals, a comeback, a late equalizer, and a finale that makes Group I absolutely electric. Norway took the lead just before halftime, 43rd minute, through what was shaping up to be a controlled performance. But the second half is where this game truly ignited. Just 3 minutes after the restart, 48th minute, Norway made it 2-0. Game over? Not even close. Within 5 minutes, Senegal pulled one back, 2-1 in the 53rd minute. Then Norway responded immediately, 58th minute, 3-1. Surely that was enough. But Senegal refused to die. In the 90th minute, the very last breath of the match, they pulled it back to 3-2. Final whistle. Norway held on, but only just. Look at these stats to understand why this game was such a spectacle. Senegal actually had more possession, 57% to Norway's 43%. Senegal had 17 total shots, 6 on target. Norway had 12 shots, 6 on target. Both goalkeepers made 3 saves each. This was an incredibly even contest, decided by Norway's ruthlessness in those crucial 15 minutes of the second half, when they scored twice in quick succession. For Norway, Erling Haaland and Alexander Sorloth up front, Martin Odegaard pulling the strings in midfield, Antonio Nusa providing the spark wide. For Senegal, Sadio Mane, Nicholas Jackson, and Ismaila Sarr in attack, with the experience of Kalidou Koulibaly and Idrissa Gana Gueye providing the foundations. On another day, Senegal could easily have taken something from this game, but Norway were simply more ruthless when it mattered. Norway now joined France on 6 points at the top of Group I. Both teams through, you would imagine, but the battle for top spot is very much alive. And for Senegal, 2 defeats from 2 means their World Cup is hanging by the thinnest of threads. The world champions, Lionel Messi, and a group stage they are making look very, very comfortable. Argentina beat Austria 2-0, and while it wasn't the most thrilling spectacle, it was an exercise in knowing exactly how to win football matches. The defending champions are in full control of Group J, marching toward the knockout rounds with maximum points. The first goal arrived in the 38th minute, just before the break. Argentina went in at halftime 1-0 ahead, professional, organized, in control.
Then, deep into stoppage time, the 91st minute, they added a second to seal it completely. Argentina had 54% possession, 12 total shots. Austria were limited to just 6 total shots and only 1 on target across the entire 90 minutes. The defensive solidity of Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez was immense. Rodrigo de Paul, Alexis McAllister, and Enzo Fernandez controlled the midfield. And then there is Messi, operating, threading passes, being the heartbeat of everything Argentina do going forward. Austria featured David Alaba, Marcel Sabitzer, and young Paul Warner, but they simply could not find a way through an Argentine defensive structure that has now kept 2 clean sheets in 2 games at this tournament. Argentina have conceded 0 goals at this World Cup so far. 0. The champions are protecting their crown with absolute conviction. England and Ghana, goalless. And not in the good, tactical, defensively brilliant kind of goalless draw. This was England's nightmare. 78% of the ball, 19 shots, 9 corners. Harry Kane leading the line, Jude Bellingham in the number 10 role, Noni Madueke and Anthony Gordon on the wings, and yet not a single goal to show for it. Ghana had just 22% possession and 2 total shots in the entire game. 2. But their goalkeeper, Benjamin Asari, and a defensive unit that sat deep, stayed compact, and refused to crack did exactly what was needed. Ghana made 4 saves and walked away with a point that feels like a victory. England are now 4 points from 2 games, but with serious questions being asked about their clinical edge. The shots are there, the corners are there, the possession is there, but none of it is converting. In a World Cup knockout round, that becomes fatal. England must find their finishing touch in their final group game or risk a very uncomfortable path through this tournament.
Colombia, meanwhile, got the job done against Congo DR 1-0, and it required a late goal in the 76th minute to break the deadlock. Congo DR goalkeeper Lionel Mpasi was outstanding all night, making 8 saves to keep his side in the game. Colombia had 66% possession and 20 shots, but kept finding Mpasi equal to everything. James Rodriguez, Luis Diaz, and Luis Suarez created chance after chance. When the goal finally came in the 76th minute, it felt like relief more than celebration. Colombia are perfect, 6 from 6, top of Group K, but this was a reminder that in a World Cup, no game is easy, no win is ever guaranteed. And Croatia 1, Panama 0. The single goal arrived in the 54th minute with Luka Modric and Mateo Kovacic providing the experience and craft that Croatia always possess. Dominik Livakovic was solid in goal when needed. Croatia keep themselves alive in Group L on 3 points. Panama are out of the tournament. The checkered ones are not done yet. Let's take a moment to look at the bigger picture, because the standings heading into the next round of fixtures are absolutely fascinating. Mexico are flying in Group A with 6 points from 6. Switzerland and Canada are level on 4 points each ahead of their head-to-head clash tonight, a match that is effectively a battle for group leadership. Brazil and Morocco both sit on 4 in Group C, with Scotland still in the mix on 3. The USA are top of Group D with a perfect 6 points, Germany perfect with 6 in Group E, Netherlands and Japan level on 4 in Group F, France and Norway both on 6 in Group I, setting up a blockbuster finale. Argentina top of Group J with 6, the defending champions looking unstoppable, Colombia perfect on 6 in Group K, Portugal second on 4, and in Group L, England and Ghana both on 4, Croatia lurking on 3. Tonight, Switzerland versus Canada in Group B is effectively a winner-takes-all clash for group leadership. Bosnia and Herzegovina take on host nation Qatar in a game Qatar simply must win to have any hope. Then Brazil versus Scotland. The Samba Stars are unbeaten and heavily favored, but Scotland showed in this tournament they can compete. Morocco face Haiti, the Atlas Lions looking to secure top spot in Group C, and Czechia against Mexico, South Africa against South Korea round out the evening. This World Cup has already given us 5-goal hammerings, last-gasp equalizers, goalless frustrations, and a confirmed presidential trophy presentation at the final. From the pitches of New York to Dallas to Los Angeles and beyond, the beautiful game is alive, electric, and utterly unpredictable. The World Cup trophy will be lifted on July the 19th at MetLife Stadium. Donald Trump and Gianni Infantino will be waiting on that stage. The only question left,
who is climbing those steps to meet them? That is your complete World Cup show for June 24th, 2026. Stay locked in because tomorrow it only gets bigger. I am your host, and this has been FIFA World Cup 2026. See you next time.